ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
India is the land of Vedas, divine light, cosmic wisdom, dutiful deeds and saints. It is the land where the formless superpower has taken forms many times in the human form. Such godly incarnations like saints, sages, yogis, philosophers, devotees and prophets were born on this land at many places. They enlighten the masses through the display of their miraculous powers to needy, inquisitive and wise followers since ages. They rescue the destitutes, distressed and disabled through their power. Human beings can be broadly classified into the working class and guiding class. Supreme gurus, prophets, saints, sages, yogis, philosophers and devotees belong to the second class. The fate of the working class, like their life or death, their pleasures and displeasures are not in their own hands, whereas the guiding class have everything in their control. Great souls or Mahatmas have been born in all countries in all ages. But Mahatmas born in this land have propagated the knowledge of birth, death and ultimate goals of human life. Such great souls are known as saints, prophets and supreme gurus. Mahatmas have chosen various places in India as their main centers to run their activities. Such Mahatmas neither have duties nor desires. They are so powerful that they do not have anything that cannot be achieved or attained. They serve mankind selflessly. We read of many such great souls who have served in political, social, educational and technical arenas. However, we ignore those who have served selflessly for eternal happiness and eternal goals of the mankind. Our effort is to bring before you the lives of such great souls. One such guiding force is Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. He is considered to be the first incarnation of Lord Dattatreya. He is also known as Digambara Avadhuta, meaning the Supreme Guru who wears all the four sides as his dress. There are 7 rishis who are Lord Brahma's mind-born sons. Atri is one such sage. Sage Atri's wife is known as Anasuya, the daughter of the great King Kardama and Devahuti. Sage Atri leads a family life but is still in penance. The 3 lords Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara wanted to test the great lady Anasuya. So, when Sage Atri left for his daily rituals, they approached Anasuya for food as alms. Never the one to turn away guests, Anasuya was about to serve them food when the Lord Trio put a condition that she should serve them nakedly. Anasuya realizes that her guests are not ordinary people, but gods who came to test her. Balancing her modesty and the rule that guests should be served at any cost, she transforms them into baby boys and breastfeeds them. Meanwhile, the sage Atri returns home and realizes his guests are nothing but the Lord Trio, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. Seeing the plight of their husbands, Saraswati, Lakshmi and Parvati, the wives of the Lord Trio Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara respectively, approach Anasuya and pray her to transform back their husbands and return them. Anasuya obliges them. Pleased with their qualities, the Lord Trio sanctions her wish of incarnating as her sons. The son incarnate of Lord Brahma is known as Chandra. Son incarnate of Lord Vishnu is known as Datta, and son incarnate of Lord Shiva is known as Durvasa. The incarnation of Lord Vishnu as Datta is much before the famous incarnations of Rama and Krishna and happened in the month of Vaishakha, day Bahula Dashami, week Thursday, birth star Revati and time Meena Lagna, sub-period Meenamsa. These three child incarnates of Atri are known as Atreyas and Datta is known as Dattatreya. Later, the incarnates Chandra and Durvasa repose their essence in Dattatreya and leave for penance with the permission of Atri and Anasuya. The birthplace of Dattatreya is known as Anasuya Pahad, situated near Chitrakoot in Nepal. Sages believe he is still living in the Nilgiris. Many Puranas, the Hindu philosophical literatures, describe him that he belongs to yoga tradition and travels around Kaveri Valley in invisible form. The Puranas also describe that he penances in famous Sahyadri hill range and lives in an ashram. The Puranas say that he taught yoga to famous kings Kartavirya and Prahlada. Many noble souls have been blessed by him in ancient times. Atri means the one who won over three miseries. Similarly, Anasuya means the one who has won over jealousy. Dattatreya is born of such noble souls. Datta means one who dedicates himself to his devotees. Thus, the names of these people are indications of their virtues. Dattatreya is also known as Avadhuta, meaning Supreme Guru. The qualities of Avadhuta are described in Avadhutopanishad as follows. Avadhuta is one, Tattvamasi, who is endless, detached from the worldly entanglements and dualities. In fact, Avadhuta is a self-realized power who is beyond the definitions, just like self-realization itself. He is that who never intends anything, who is the supreme knowledge but still behaves like an innocent or mad, who doesn't own the results and reasons, who is beyond insults and praises, who is detached to every materialistic gain and wanders like an orphan, but capable of imparting the supreme knowledge to the disciples. Dattatreya is considered to be the first Supreme Guru. He is the starter of Avadhuta tradition, which still continues to exist in many countries. In this tradition, the most important aspect is the concept of Guru. The sage should start his effort first from Guru. Guru is the one who kindles the lamp of wisdom to drive out the darkness of ignorance inherent in you. Even the Supreme Guru and the first Guru of this tradition, Lord Dattatreya, the son of Atri and Anasuya, and the incarnation of the Lord Trio, claims that he himself attained the supreme wisdom through 24 Gurus. This should be taken as to emphasize the importance of Guru only, but not that the Supreme Guru needs any training from the other Gurus. From different places and different times, various Avadhutas have incarnated to spread this cult and to guide the people towards supreme knowledge, detachment, and the ultimate goal of our birth. Dattatreya is considered to be the trunk of this tree of tradition, and this tree has 5 more important branches, namely Sripada Srivallabha, Sri Nrsimha Saraswati, Sri Manikya Prabhu, Sri Akkalkota Lord, and Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. Apart from these, many sub-branches of this tree of tradition have helped this tree to grow and flourish. To spread this Guru tradition and to preach wisdom, detachment and enlightenment in these times called Kali Yuga, Lord Dattatreya himself incarnated in 1320 AD in Pitikapuram, that is presently known as Pithapuram, with the name Sripada Srivallabha.
భగవంతుడు ఏంటంటే అండి అప్పుడు ఎవరు ఆ కాలంలో తపస్సు చేసుకుని ఆ తపస్సులోంచి పంచదేవరపాడు దర్బార్కి పైన నది దాటి చివరి ఒకవేళ బుట్ట లేకపోయినా నదిలో ఆయన నడిచి వస్తామంటే ఒక కలగ పువ్వుల కింద భగవంతుడి కదండి ఒక కలగ పువ్వుల కింద దాచి పెట్టి అంట కలగ పువ్వుల నుంచి నడిచి వచ్చేవారంట. అవసరమైతే ఆయన బట్ట కండువా కూడా దాని మీద నది మీద పరుచుకుని ఆయన అలా వెళ్ళి పాండ్రంగ భక్తుడు. నేను చిన్న పిల్లోడప్పటి నుంచి కూడా పాండ్రంగ పాండ్రంగడు అంటే ఇష్టం. అంటే దత్తాత్రేయుడు యనగాదేవి తెలియదు మనకి. అప్పుడు వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత నాతో వచ్చిన రైతులు 5 మంది పండరీపురం దర్శనం చేసుకొచ్చిన తర్వాత మేమేమో సావుకారపేటలో ఉండిపోయి ఉండే. తర్వాత తిరిగి రాయచూరు వచ్చాక మేము పండరీపురం దర్శనం చేసుకొచ్చామని చెప్పారు. చెప్పినప్పుడు నాకు కొంచెం బాధ కలిగిందండి. అదేంటి నేను అంత భక్తుడిని అయ్యింది, నేను నీ దర్శనం భాగ్యం నాకు కలగలేదని బాధపడితే అప్పుడు ఆ రాత్రి పంచదేవరపాడు పాండురంగ దేవాలయం ఉందండి. అది పాండురంగ టెంపుల్. ఆ పాండురంగ గుడి తర్వాత ఈ దత్తాత్రేయుడు వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి లాగా వచ్చారండి మధ్యన గుడి. ఈ సరే 3వ గుడి అనగాదేవి అండి. అనగాదేవి గుడి అయితే ఈ ఒక్కోటి దర్శనం చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చాను కల్లా. వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ తల్లికి దర్శనం చేసుకుంటామంటే నిలువెత్తి ఎక్కడం గంట వాయిస్తుందండి ఆ తల్లి. గంట వాయిస్తామంటే సరే 3 సంవత్సరాలకి మేము సైదాపూర్ మనిషిని పంపాలి. పిలిపించిన తర్వాత అది భగవంతుని లీల. ఈ గుడి ముందుకు మళ్ళీ అప్పుడు మా అబ్బాయి పట్టుకొచ్చి దేవుడు పూజ చేసుకుంటామంటే మన్నాడు అందరూ ఉన్నారు నేను గుడిలో తెచ్చాను. అమ్మ తాళాలు ఇవ్వరా, అమ్మ నిన్నే పూజ చేయమంటున్నారంటే అదేంటి బాబు నాకు తాళాలు ఇస్తున్నారంటే నేను వ్యవసాయం చేసుకుంటాను ఎవరినన్నా చూస్తాను కాదమ్మా అమ్మ పైన నిన్నే చేయమంటున్నాను. అప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ రోజు పూజ చేస్తానంటే ఏడుపు వచ్చిందండి. గంట వాయించింది నువ్వు ఎందుకమ్మా నాకు అర్థం.
The aim of God's incarnations is to protect the dharma, that is the cosmic order. To protect the dharma and to eliminate the evil forces in these times of Kali Yuga, one such incarnation is Sripada Srivallabha. Sripada Srivallabha was born to a couple, Appalaraja Sharma and Sumati, who were noble souls. They lived in a place called Pitikapura Agrahara, now known as Pithapuram, near the Godavari river. They belonged to Brahmin caste, Bharadwaja Gotra, and the branch of Apasthamba. They were devotees of Lord Dattatreya. They treated beggars who asked for alms as the incarnation of Lord Datta and fed them daily. On one new moon day, it happened to be the death anniversary of their ancestors. On that day, it is customary to feed a Brahmin guest first before anyone else. But on that day, before the Brahmin guests were fed, a monk with all the traditional gear like dandam and kamandalam in his hands visited and asked for some food. This was not noticed by Appalaraja Sharma and he was engrossed in the rituals. However, Sumati noticed it and had an intuition that this monk is Lord Datta, their family deity. So she offered him food. The monk was satisfied with her kindness and appeared before her in his original form as Lord Dattatreya. He addressed her as mother and offered to grant her a wish. Sumati replied, "O Lord, you addressed me as mother, so keep that word and become my son." Lord Datta sanctioned her the wish and disappeared. Sumati then informed her husband about this. Appalaraja Sharma was elated with this incident and praised her for this fortune. In due course of time, she became pregnant and gave birth to the incarnation of Lord Datta. This happened on the wee hours of the festival Ganesh Chaturthi. The birth star of the newborn was Chitta, time Simha Lagna, and zodiac sign was Tula or Libra. The feet of the newborn displayed many indications of a great soul, hence he was named as Sripada. Since his birth, his joyful childhood deeds entertained not only his parents but all the people in that village. He grew up like a moon in the waxing moon cycle and turned 8. This being the age to perform the thread ceremony, his parents performed the ritual on him. Generally, after the thread ceremony, the boy, known as the new monk, is left with a guru to learn the Vedas. But Sripada Srivallabha, immediately after his thread ceremony, not only started reciting all the Vedas, but started teaching them. When he grew to become 16 years of age, his parents wanted him to be married and wanted to search for a suitable alliance. But Sripada Srivallabha discouraged them and said that he had decided to become a monk and he would espouse none but monkhood itself. Sripada Srivallabha had 2 siblings, one of whom was blind and the other lame. Appalaraja Sharma brought those 2 to Sripada Srivallabha and said that the fate of these physically handicapped children is preventing them from fulfilling their duty as children to their parents, and hence Sripada Srivallabha should carry on these responsibilities. Sripada Srivallabha, realizing their misery, touched them with his hand, and the 2 became not only normal but handsome too. By seeing this, the parents realized that he is the incarnation of the God and not just their son. Sripada Srivallabha turned to his brothers and advised them to serve their parents, circumambulated thrice around his parents, and sought their permission to take up sainthood. He later travelled to Dwaraka, Kasi, Vrindavan, Badri, and Gokarna. He spent 3 years in Gokarna and later reached Kurupuram on the banks of river Krishna. He spent some time here and later disappeared into river Krishna. The day he disappeared was in the month of Ashweja on the 12th day of lunar fortnight of waning moon, also known as Krishna Paksha Dwadasi. On that day, the ruling star was Hasta. Devotees still believe that he is present in Kurupuram in invisible form and appears for the devotees. That is why Kurupuram is considered to be a holy place.
Digambara, दिगंबरा 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 श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा 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 श्रीपादवल्लभ दिगंबरा श्रीपादवल्लभ
Lord Dattatreya, son of Atri and Anasuya Devi, had led many yogis on the path to salvation. Captivated by his radiance, several sages showered the boy with love and devotion. They insisted that Lord Dattatreya accept them as his disciples. Lord Datta, wanting to test their devotion, disappeared into a pool of water. The sages awaited the Lord's return on the shore. A few years later, Lord Datta appeared as a young, handsome man carrying a bottle of intoxicant in one hand and a half-naked woman on the other hand. The sages were shocked to see this and were surprised that they had once thought of this man as their guru. Only a few realized that the intoxicant is nothing but nectar and the woman was Anagha, the manifestation of three forms of Shakti. Kurupuram is the place where Lord Dattatreya emerged from the waters. King Kuru, the ancestor of Kauravas and Pandavas, was enlightened here. Thus, the place came to be called Kurupuram. Sripada Swami had enlightened several souls at Kurupuram. He never ignored those that reposed their faith and devotion in him. Two such incidences are in prominence, and Ambika is one among them. Kurupuram is a small village. There was only one Brahmin family in this village. The learned Brahmin was married to Ambika. They had a passive and mentally handicapped child. However, they showered the boy with all their love and affection. When the boy was 8 years old, the father wanted to perform his thread ceremony and initiate his learning of the Vedas. However, the poor child was unable to learn even a single Vedic chant properly. Upset over his son, the Brahmin passed away after a few years. Left without a breadwinner, the Brahmin lady resorted to begging for subsistence. The villagers taunted her handicapped son. Unable to bear the humiliation, the child wanted to commit suicide and started walking into the river. The mother was also distraught at her helpless situation and wanted to join the boy in committing suicide. However, Sripada Swami stopped them just in time. He blessed the boy by placing his hand on the boy's head and loudly chanting the Pranava mantra. The handicapped child had instantly turned into an eloquent and wise like Brihaspati. He then turned to the Brahmin lady and asked her to stop grieving and spend the rest of her life worshipping the Lord Shiva. He promised her that she would bear a child like himself in her next life. Another disciple who was blessed by Swami Sripada was a washerman. There was a washerman named Ravidasu in Kurupuram. Thrice a day, Sripada Swami went to the Krishna river for his daily rituals, where he would come across this washerman washing his clothes. Each time, Ravidasu would respectfully bow down to the Swami. After a while, the Swami said to him, "You bow to me with such sincerity, I am pleased with your devotion." Since that day, Ravidasu served the Swami with even more devotion. He would sweep and wash the surroundings of the ashram. Only after completing his duties would he go perform his washing duties. One day, when Ravidasu was washing clothes at the bank of the river Krishna, he saw a young king with his beautiful wife and family. Mesmerized by their luxurious life, he was distracted from his daily chanting. When Sripada Swami came to the banks for bathing in the afternoon, Ravidasu confessed that he was distracted by the luxury and beauty of the royal family. However, he soon realized his ignorance and said that it is the presence of the Swami which grants true happiness. Sripada Swami said to Ravidasu, "You wholeheartedly wish to become king, don't you? Speak the truth." Ravidasu prostrated before the Swami and said, "Forgive my ignorance and bless me." Swami asked him if he wanted these worldly comforts in this life or the next, to which Ravidasu replied, "I have grown old in this life, so even if I am bestowed with all the worldly pleasures, I would not be able to enjoy them. If these pleasures are bestowed in the next life, I will be able to fully indulge in them." Then the Swami said, "Since you have such strong will to enjoy kingship, you shall be born as a Muslim king in your next life in Mridura." At this, Ravidasu thanked the Swami and said that although he was happy with the blessing, he wanted the opportunity to serve the Swami in his next life as well. He asked the Swami to bless him so that he may have unwavering devotion toward the Swami and tolerance to other religions. Vasudevananda Saraswati's Guru Charitra reveals that Sripada Sri Vallabha reincarnated as Nrisimha Saraswati. Ravidasu, as king in his next life, served Nrisimha Saraswati. The Brahmin lady Ambika was the one who gave birth to Nrisimha Saraswati.
త్రేతాయ రఘునందన ద్వాపరే రామకృష్ణ కలు శ్రీపాద దత్తాత్రేయ సంప్రదాయంలో దత్తాత్రేయ అవతారం తర్వాత కలియుగంలో ప్రథమ అవతారం శ్రీపాద శ్రీవల్లభ రెండవ అవతారం నరసింహ సరస్వతి అవతారం పేరుతో అవతరించారు. శ్రీపాద శ్రీవల్లభ స్వామి గారు జన్మించిన ప్రదేశం గోదావరి జిల్లాలో పీఠాపురం గ్రామం. పీఠాపురంలో స్వామి గారు అవతరించి అక్కడి నుండి అనుష్ఠానము, ధ్యానము, సాధన కోసం ఏకాంత స్థలం తీసుకుంటూ బయలుదేరుతారు. శ్రీశైలం, గోకర్ణము ఆ క్షేత్రంలో సందర్శించి అక్కడ అనుష్ఠానానికి యోగ్య స్థానం లేదని తర్వాత స్వామి గారు కృష్ణా ప్రాంతాల వెతుకుంటూ వచ్చినప్పుడు స్వామి గారు ఈ ప్రదేశానికి వస్తారు. ఈ ఏకాంతమని ఒక ప్రశాంత స్థానమని యోగంకి అనుకూలమైన స్థానం ఉందని స్వామి గారు ఇక్కడే 14 సంవత్సరం నుండి సాధనము, అనుష్ఠానము, ధ్యానం చేసిన ఒక తపోభూమి. శ్రీపాద శ్రీవస్వామి గారు ఈ క్షేత్రంలో 14 సంవత్సరం నుండి సాధనము, అనుష్ఠానం చేసిన ఒక సాధనా భూమి. ఈ క్షేత్రంలో సాధన, తపస్సు, అనుష్ఠానం చేసి తర్వాత ఈ కృష్ణా ప్రాంతంలో అదృశ్యమయ్యారు. ఈ అవతారం తర్వాతనే నరసింహ సరస్వతి పేరుతో అవతరించి మహారాష్ట్రలో నాగ్పూర్ దగ్గర కారంజ నగరము ఆ క్షేత్రంలో స్వామిగారు అవతరించి అక్కడ నుండి కాశీకి వెళ్ళి సన్యాస దీక్షము, తర్వాత ఔదుంబరము, నరసింహవాడిలో చాతుర్మాస చేసుకొని కొనాకి భీమా అమరాజా సంఘం ఉన్న ప్రదేశం గణగాపురకు వస్తారు. ఆ గణగాపురకు వచ్చి మటన్ కల్పించుకొని భక్తులు ఉద్ధరించుకుంటా స్వామివారు నిర్గుణ పాదాలను ఆ క్షేత్రం వదిలేసి శ్రీశైల దగ్గర కదళీవనంలో అంతర్ధానమయ్యారు. దత్తాత్రేయ సంప్రదాయంలో
స్వామి ఈ క్షేత్రాన్ని ఎవరు డెవలప్ చేశారు? ఎప్పుడు పాదుకలు స్థాపించింది ఎవరి కాలంలో?
సాగర్ ఉద్భవం ఉందండి. సాగర్ ఉన్న ప్రదేశం ఉద్భవం అండి. ఇక్కడ ఎవరు ప్రతిష్ట చేసింది ఏమి లేదు. ఇక్కడ స్వామి ఉన్న సాధనం, అనుష్ఠానం చేసిన స్థానమే ఒక నిర్గుణ పీఠం జరిగింది. సంప్రదాయంలో యాక్షేత్రంలో సమాధి లేదు స్వామి గారు. ఉంటే పాదల స్వరూపం లేకుంటే పీఠ స్వరూపం. ఆ క్షేత్రంలో శ్రీపాద స్వామి వారు అనుష్ఠానం చేసిన ఒక స్థానము నిర్గుణాకార పీఠ స్వరూపం.
ఈ వాసుదేవానంద సరస్వతి స్వామి వారు కాలంలో ఇది గుడి అంతా కొంచెం విస్తృతపరిచినట్టుగా తెలుస్తుంది చెప్పారు.
అదే స్వామి గారు అంతా సందర్శన చేసినారు దత్తక్షేత్రం. భారతదేశంలో దత్త సంప్రదాయంలో యా క్షేత్రం వస్తావి ఆ క్షేత్రాన్ని పాదయాత్ర మూలకము సందర్శించి ఆ క్షేత్రం మహిమ కానీ ఒక శక్తి కానీ భక్తులకి ప్రచారం చేసిన స్వామి స్వామివారి అంటే ఈ స్వామివారి అవతారం అనేది విక్రమ్ అంటే 800 సంవత్సరాల పురాతనంలో పీఠాపురంలో 14 సంవత్సరం ఉండి అక్కడ నుండి మళ్ళీ 16-17 సంవత్సరం ఉంటే అక్కడ నుండి బయలుదేరుతారు. వాళ్ళ జీవితం అయితే 30 సంవత్సరం స్వామి గారు శ్రీపాద శ్రీవల్ల స్వామి గారు. 8 సంవత్సరం స్వామి గారి ఎంత వయస్సు ఇక్కడే వదిలేసి కృష్ణా నదిలో అంతర్ధానం.
ఈ ఇందోల్ రాణి గురించి ఏదో చెప్పారు స్వామి, ఆమె గురించి ఈ క్షేత్రానికి.
ఇందూరు మహారాణి అంటే మీకు ఈ నగారకాన ఇవే స్వామి గారికి సేవ రూపంలో కట్టించినారు. ప్రతినిత్యం స్వామి గారికి సేవలు జరుగుతాయి. తెల్లవారు 4:30 కాకర ఆరతి, మధ్యాహ్నము నైవేద్యం, సాయంత్రం ఆరతి. ఈ సందర్శించిన భక్తులకి ఒక నికర సమయం తెలియదు. నిత్యము నగారకాన అంటే తెల్లవారు 4:30కి స్వామి గారికి కాకర ఆరతి అయినకము ఎక్కువ నగార స్వామి గారికి వాద్యం మూలకము భక్తులకి ఒక సూచన రూపం కలిసిపోతుంది. అంటే స్వామి గారికి కాకడార్తి జరిగింది. మధ్యాహ్నం 12 గంటలకి స్వామికి నైవేద్యం ఆయనకులు కూడా మన నగార స్వామి గారికి వాద్య రూపం జరుగుతుంది. స్వామికి నైవేద్యం జరిగింది. సాయంత్రం 7 గంటలకి మళ్ళీ ఆరతి జరుగుతుంది. ఆ రూపంలో స్వామికి మహామంగారతి జరుగుతూ ఉన్నది.
ఇంకా ఏమైనా దీని గురించిన ప్రత్యేకతలు కానీ?
స్వామి గారు ఒక అదృశ్య రూపంలో ఈ క్షేత్రంలో ఉన్నారు. భక్తులకి ఒక స్వరూపంలో ఒక్కొక్క సింహాసనం రూపంలో స్వామి గారు దర్శిస్తారు.
ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి వెళ్ళిన భక్తులు మళ్ళీ తిరిగి వస్తూ ఉంటారు కదా, వాళ్ళు మీతో
చెప్పింది అదే. ఆ స్వరూపం ఒక్కొక్క స్వరూపంలో స్వామి గారికి భక్తులకి సందర్శన ఇస్తారు, ఆశీర్వాద రూపం ఇస్తారని నిద్ర చేసిన వాళ్ళకి తెలుస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ కొత్త పుస్తకాలు కానీ ఏమో ఇక్కడ నిద్ర చేయరాదు అని అంత ప్రకటన జరిగింది. కానీ ఆయన స్వామి గారు అదృశ్య క్షేత్రం భక్తులకి రక్షణ కోసం ఈ క్షేత్రం ఉన్నారు.
Panchdev Pahad means the abode of 5 elements. The 5 elements are sky, wind, water, fire and earth. Sripada Swami conducted yajnas for the 5 elements at Panchdev Pahad. Sripada Swami would cross the waters on foot to reach Panchdev Pahad from Kurupuram. As soon as he steps on the water, lotuses would bloom under his feet. When he reaches the shore, devotees would welcome him. Darbar would run till evening. Later, Swami would return by walking on the water. Devotees would bid farewell to him from the bank. Swami would patiently hear the problems and miseries of the people and remedy them during the darbar. In the darbar one day, Swami would preach mythological stories, another day on Upanishads, some other day Vedas and their meaning, and some other day yoga. In every darbar, remedying the ill health of the people and solving their problems used to take place invariably. Every day feeding the people is a regular activity, and on Thursdays, one sweet item used to be part of the menu. In the nights, Swami used to stay in Kurupuram alone and would not allow anybody else. The reason used to be, in the nights, various gods and sages from Himalayas would visit Kurupuram in nights. How to reach Kurupuram? By road. Maktal, located approximately 80 kilometers away from Mahbubnagar on the Hyderabad-Raichur bus route, is the nearest town to Kurupuram. One can reach here by bus departing every 5 minutes from Hyderabad and Mahbubnagar. Karnataka state also runs buses to Maktal that depart from Raichur. Travel approximately 25 kilometers from Maktal to reach Panchdev Pahad village. APSRTC operates ordinary buses from Maktal to Panchdev Pahad. From Panchdev Pahad, one can travel across the Krishna river using locally available boats to arrive at Kurupuram. By train. Raichur is the nearest railway station, located approximately 40 kilometers away from Maktal. One can arrive here on passenger or express trains departing from Sikandrabad. Mantralayam is located just 30 kilometers from Raichur, so it is convenient for those visiting Kurupuram to also visit Mantralayam. Desires are the root cause of misery. They are eternal who win on their desires. If you are a slave to your senses, then you are subjected to ego and entanglements. If you can win over your senses, then there are no impediments or hurdles. Attaining the state beyond birth and death and getting detached from the materialistic gains and bonds is the state of Avadhuta. If you can win the ego, then you are not bothered about the caste or religion. Illusions of this materialistic world are to be won, and dedication to Guru gives such power. Going beyond these illusions is the ultimate goal, and this is exactly what Vedas say. What Vedas say is the absolute truth.